Uh, so we are talking about the 8 quality management principles, and we'll quickly, go through that: customer focus, leadership, engagement of people. Earlier it was called involvement of people. Now it has been changed to engagement of people, signifying that people cannot be forced to get involved. They need to be engaged themselves. So unless there is an inner motivation, people don't get engaged. Process approach. So this means everything is achieved through a process. So if you want to improve quality, you have to look at your process. You have to improve productivity, you have to look at your process. So process approach is given. Then the next principle is improvement. Successful organizations have an ongoing focus on improvement. So improvement in all areas of activity. Then next principle is evidence-based decision making. So you have uh, inspection, testing, and so much of data is there, but how to handle that data, derive useful information, and then take action to improve the results is what is covered under this principle. So the decisions in the organizations are taken based on data and not based on, experience or opinion or anything like that. So that is what the basic principle is. And then the last but not least is relationship management. There are interested parties, that is internal, external customers, internal and external customers. So taking care of all this is important for success of the organization. Now, these various clauses, as I said, from clause number 4 to 10, and there are uniform clauses in all the management system standards, including ISO 9001, 14001, and so on. So what are the clauses? Clause 4 is organization and its context. Okay. Clause 5 is leadership, which is at the center. Clause 6 is resource management. That is, planning. It's planning. And 7 is resource management, support. 8 is operations. Under performance evaluation, 6, clause number 6. Clause number 8 is operations. It should be somewhere here, support and operations, which is under do. And then improvement, performance evaluation and improvement. These are the 2 clauses which are based on check and act. So the plan, do, check, act cycle of Deming is used, and the clauses you can see are classified under these 4 heads: plan, do, check, and act. So planning starts with organization and its context, clause on planning. Then do is operation support. As a result of do, you have next activity is perform verification, that is performance evaluation, and then the next is improvement, that is class 10. So see, the standard is based on PDCA cycle, and it was given by Dr. Edward Deming. The class planning covers risk-based thinking, quality planning, action plan, objectives, uh, failure mode effect analysis, and so on. Class 10 is on non-conformity and corrective action. So this is how the improvement takes place: identification of non-conformities, recording, and taking corrective action. Now this is a process approach where at the center are activities, but these activities are defined end to end from the customer's point of view. So that means on the rightmost side is the customer who receives the outputs, and the activities are meant to satisfy the requirements of the customer. So these outputs should satisfy the requirement of customer, and accordingly the activities are performed, and these activities are on the inputs and based on the resources. So the person resources are there, inputs are here. So this is the process approach. Correct. Now, risk-based thinking is introduced in this 2015 version. That means for every critical activity, the organization is required to identify what is the level of risk and then accordingly devise a system which will take care of such risk. So if any such failure happens, there is a system in place to take care of that, and ideally it will not affect the customer. So the system is so robust that even in any case, whatever failures happen, the customer won't come to know that there was a failure. Okay. So, for example, we frequently face, this internet outage, isn't it? Despite the best efforts from the companies like Airtel and Reliance and all, still we face that there is the internet, disconnected or speed is slow. That means there is something which is happening within the company and the customers are getting affected. So a best management system would have covered all such eventualities, manage this risk that the customer will feel the deficiency in service, and whatever happens within the organization, the customer should get uninterrupted supply of the internet services. Then we will call it's an ideal, quality of service. So the fact that we are getting these interruptions, that means there are a lot of areas where the company has failed to identify their risks and put in place a suitable management system. Now, in these standards, the word preventive action has been taken out, and preventive action is considered as risk management. Okay, so risk management is as good as taking a preventive action. So think of preventive approach, that risk management is. Correct? So we this way, a brief overview of quality management system ISO 9001 I have tried to cover. Now we'll go into the lesson. Are you able to see the lesson on the screen?
No, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Now we can. Akansha, you can.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So Akanksha, have you joined?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah, I think she has joined, but I'm not able to hear her.
So I could hear her. She said she can see
Oh,
and she
sorry. Yes, Akanksha?
Yes, sir. I have
Yeah,
joined.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Now, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
It is better now, right?
Yes, sir. This is better.
Okay, because I had put the microphone, by the side. Okay. So we just saw the ISO 9001 overview, and now we are getting into the lesson. So you see the lesson number 2 is ISO 9000 series of standards, and its structure is introduction, objectives of this particular lesson, what are the 9000 series of standards which we have seen in the overview, other standards and guidelines, fundamentals of the standard 9001 2015, process approach we have seen, quality management principles we have seen, PDCA cycle we have seen, risk-based thinking we have covered. So this is what in the overview we have seen. Now this lesson, gives in details, details of the ISO 9001 system. So the Akanksha, आप ये पढ़िए introduction का part, the first para. Can you read?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The experience of World War II led to the development of quality assurance standards by the US Department of Defense MIL Q9858 in 1950s. The British Standards Institution adopted these standards and expanded them to include the entire business process and called them the British Standards, that is BS 5750 1979 part 1, 2 and 3.
Okay. So what it says is, even before the BS 5750 was released in 1979, it derived inspiration from this standard, which is MIL 9858, which is a Department of Defense standard, and it mostly dealt with the quality assurance part. It did not include other functions like logistics, operations, and all that. So it would define, how to test, what are the acceptable, standards of parameters, So those type of things. What is the sampling plan? So MIL standards were very famous for sampling. So all those things were there in the quality standard of US Department of Defense, but it was not covering the entire business process. So what BS 5750 did, it covered the entire business process, because they realized that quality cannot be built only by inspection, but it has to be there into the business processes. And that's why this BS 5750 was released. And part 1, 2 and 3, what is that part 1, 2 and 3? BS 5750. Remember we discussed 9001, 9002 and 9003?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. So 9001 is equivalent to part 1, 9002 is equivalent to part 2, and 9003 was equivalent to part 3, So this is how BS 5750 came. Now the question related to this, the MIL Q985 standard of quality assurance was developed in 1950 by, what is the correct answer?
So US.
Department.
Yeah, this is the correct answer, right? Okay, so if someone has not read this introduction part, he will easily miss this. And then he will try to find out what is MIL standard, and he might get into, say that it is British standard or American standard, like that. So this is what the importance of this is. And it is important to know the background of, how this system standard got developed being a quality professional. Then question 2 is again based on the same para, MIL 500 standard quality development BSI S. What is the answer for question 2? Question 2 का क्या आंसर रहेगा? करेक्ट आंसर?
So I think BS 5750.
Okay, Harsha, आपको, are you okay with that? I think she is on mute. Can you unmute, Harsha? Okay, so we will move to the next one. So like that, you will see there are a number of questions which are there based on this particular thing. We have seen this 9000, 9001, 9004, and this is question 5. Match the pairs. I think Harsha has left. We will rejoin after some time. But Akanksha, आपको can you?
For 2015, that is fundamental and vocabulary. And
hold. 2001, 2015.
Sorry, for 9215.
9215 is
Fundamental. MS fundamental
Okay.
and vocabulary.
Okay. So
So
this
the second option.
second one. Okay. Second wala is second. Sorry, let me put it this one. So this is this, right?
Yes, sir.
Then
And for 9004 2018, that is guidance to achieve sustained success.
correct. And
The first one, 9001 to 2015,
yeah, this is,
this is
yeah,
requirements.
and then the rest is this.
Last one is
TL 9000 is
telecommunication.
telecommunication services. Okay, now this is question 7. 10,012 2003 standard is for. So here it is taken from this para. Meteorological
last
confirmation. Yeah,
D
requirement
option.
for D, measurement system,
Yes, sir.
management system, requirement for measurement process and measuring equipments. Yeah. Harsha is joining. Okay. Okay, Harsha, you had gone for a tea break or what?
So I don't know. It suddenly maybe
Maybe
don't know the
internet issue, is it?
Ah.
We are talking about the quality of service, no? So interruptions, and it came up. So you just really experienced it, you know. So which
Yes.
operator you are, using?
Airtel.
Airtel. I also have Airtel only. Okay. I think Narendra Pal Singh is also joining. Hello, Narendra Pal. Hello. Narendra Pal. Can you unmute yourself? Anyway, when he comes, we will talk to him. So Harsha, we were talking about this standard ISO 10012 2003, which is measurement management system. So the question is, this standard stands for, so you have to select out of this A, B, C, D, and the right answer is pointed out by Akanksha is D, that is measurement system, management system. So, obviously next time the question may come for 10,006 or 10,000, 7 and all that. Correct. So you have to go through the various standards which are listed here other than the 9001. Question number 8. Let's see if you are able to answer. At present, how many national standard bodies support ISO 9000 series of standards?
Sir, there was some 167 something. Huh?
Yeah, they are the member countries,
Okay.
Yeah, so the member countries, they may not be in this category. 9000 is currently national standards bodies from more than 143 countries support ISO 9001. This makes it the logical choice for any organization that does business internationally or that serves customers who demand this and this, So they may have become member, but they may not have said that, these standards we will use or we support them and all that, So therefore, official information with ISO is they are actively supporting this. The number of countries are 143.
So this is where in the textbook, sir?
Yeah, this is only the questions I have inserted at relevant places. The rest of the text is from the lesson, from the book.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So you can keep your books open and you can track it. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Now, so this yellow, what I have marked is which section? Principal section. Yellow questions which are highlighted with yellow, no, are from the principal section. And with gray, they are from the application section. Okay, so question 9, what is the key feature of ISO 9000 series of standards? Easy to understand, documentation, consensus, system orientation. What do you think? Without reading, are you able to answer this question? So if you have, understood the essence of the whole thing, it is based on what?
So easy to understand.
Who said that? Harsha.
Harsha.
Harsha, अरे आप आकांक्षा से पूछो, she will say it's a nightmare. Isn't it, Akanksha?
Key feature documentation भी हो सकता है सर, या systems orientation भी हो
I
सकता है.
think it's documentation.
See, when I informed you that when the first company got certified in India, which was that company? आपको याद है, मैंने आपको मॉर्निंग में हमने डिस्कस किया, द फर्स्ट कंपनी विच गॉट सर्टिफाइड. वो कंपनी अभी बंद भी हो गई वैसे, दैट्स व्हाई यू वोंट रिमेम्बर. रेलीवोल्फ करके कंपनी था उधर, रेलीवोल्फ लिमिटेड. ओके, so that company was the first company in India to get certified to ISO 9002, and उनका जो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन था ना, पता है कितना था? वो अपना इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है ना, उससे भी बड़ा था. So the MR from that company had come to give the presentation, and he was happy to get the certificate, but obviously he was looking very frustrated. Why? Because there was so much of documentation. Because they had done, documentation of where to keep the paperweight on the general manager's table, cabin. That type of documentation was done. So the point is, the key feature of 9000 series standard, they are basically system orientation. Understood the PDCA cycle and system orientation? So this is the key feature. Consensus is not a feature. Have you seen the evidence-based decision making? It is not based on consensus. The decisions are not based on consensus. What the standard says, it is to be based on evidence, data analysis, based on data. So consensus is not the key feature. Documentation is not the key feature. It is not easy to understand. जिन्होंने स्टैंडर्ड पढ़ा है ना, they will tell you it is not easy to understand. And that's why there are so many people taking training on how to implement ISO 9001. Okay. So, but the key feature is system orientation. So it says the organization has to be treated like a system, and a system is comprising of elements which are interrelated and interacting with each other. This is the classical theory of systems given by Peter Senge, who is the guru, guru for systems. Organizational learning, there he has written a book, The Fifth Discipline. So each one of us who are, dealing with the systems, management systems, we must understand the systems theory. So what will be the answer? तो ये आपको क्लियर होगा जब आपके प्रिंसिपल्स क्लियर होंगे ना. That's why this is a question from principle section. The key feature is systems orientation. ठीक है? Understood or any doubt in this? So आपको इसका थोड़ा सा डेप्थ भी इसमें देखना पड़ेगा, डेप्थ ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग. Now question number 10. Quality requirements can be achieved by?
Sir, answer will be C, sir.
Narendra Pal, is it?
Yes, sir. Morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Morning. Yeah, just to introduce you, Mr. Narendra Pal is from my previous company, BHL Jhansi. I worked in BHL Jhansi, to start my career. He is working in BHL Jhansi. How many years you have been there now?
Sir, I'm in 13 years, sir.
13 years. Okay, great. And we have, two more persons, they joined from the morning. Akanksha, she is from, Delhi area, Noida and Gurgaon. She is
Okay.
from the, this, which
The
industry?
healthcare sector.
Healthcare industry, she is from the healthcare industry. She takes care of the NABL and other accreditation for her company. And we
Okay, sir.
have Akanksha. She is from the, Harsha from financial services companies,
Okay, yes, sir.
and you are from manufacturing. So I was missing somebody from manufacturing actually, So मैं उनको example दे रहा था, and sometimes it was difficult to explain. For example, risk management we discussed, So risk management is a very popular function in financial services and also in healthcare. But हमारे manufacturing में पहले नहीं था, है ना? We didn't have a risk management function. But now it has become very important. I don't know whether people have recognized that, because the preventive action word has been replaced by risk management. So all the preventive actions come under risk management as per the new standard. Okay. So therefore, I was telling them that I was really not aware about what risk management is till I joined the financial services industry. And later, the ISO 9000 introduced the risk management as key part of the, management system. So you said question number 10, quality requirements can be achieved by C, institutionalization of right attitude by right policies and processes.
Processes, yes, sir.
Yes. So Akanksha, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Great. So अब ये क्वेश्चन कहाँ से आ गया, तो देखिए यहाँ पे see, so you get the answers in the lesson itself. So 90% of the questions will come from this and 10% might come from general. So आपको इसका शायद डायरेक्ट आंसर इसमें नहीं मिलेगा, but this is just to put you थोड़ा सा आपको पर है इसमें वो भी दिया हुआ है important because it's a system orientation. So but some questions might come which are not directly from the book, but it may be relevant to the particular section, but 90% will be from the book only. And the questions again I am repeating what are shown here were prepared for last examination. And this year there will be change in the questions. Of course, they will be from the lessons only. Now, foundation of the ISO 9001 2015. Let's go straight to the question. ISO 9001 2015 emphasizes use of. We just had the overview also of this, through the PowerPoint presentation. So some of the things, you will be able to recall from there. So क्या है आकांक्षा बताइए?
Sir, it's all of the option.
Okay, so 9001 2015 emphasizes use of all of the options. Quality management principles, how many of them are there?
7.
हर्षा आप बताइए कितने क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट प्रिंसिपल्स we saw?
Sir, 10 we saw.
No, 10 are clauses in this standard.
7, sir. 7.
7.
Principles are 7, right? Okay, so they should be by heart principles. आपको तो by heart हो जाना चाहिए, like customer focus, leadership, process approach, evidence based decision making, and so on. Okay, so those are the quality management principles on which the standards requirements are based. Okay. फिर PDCA cycle. What is PDCA का full form?
So Plant do check act, sir.
Okay, and who introduced this into the industry?
Sir, Deming.
Dr. Deming. Okay, Dr.
Dr.
Deming introduced PDCA cycle into the industry, and all the requirements, that is clauses from clause 4 to 10 are following the PDCA cycle. तो प्लान में कौन सी क्लॉजेज आ रहे थे, आपको ये क्लॉजेज भी बाय हार्ट होनी चाहिए, there are 10 clauses, so first 3 clauses are just introductory clauses, and then it starts. पहला है normative reference, दूसरा नहीं, पहला इंट्रोडक्शन, दूसरा normative reference, तीसरा definitions, फिर चौथा from 4 the actual requirements start, so
Yes.
clause number 4 is what?
Context of the organization.
Context of the organization.
Yes.
5,
Sir,
leadership. 6,
Sir, it's a planning.
प्लानिंग में क्या क्या चीजें हैं कवर की हुई है?
सर, इसमें रिस्क और अपॉर्चुनिटी के बारे में रहता है.
रिस्क, अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड क्वालिटी ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, है ना?
जी.
And planning changes.
प्लानिंग चेंजेस, करेक्ट. सो इफ एनीथिंग चेंज तो रिस्क भी बदल जाती है, देयरफॉर यू हैव टू चेंज द प्लान. PDCA, तो प्लानिंग में हमने देख लिया कि प्लानिंग में कॉन्टेक्स्ट आ जाता है, अकॉर्डिंगली क्लास नंबर 6 आता है. देन डी में क्या आता है? डू. क्लास नंबर, which class comes under do?
So operation.
Yeah, main clause is operations, class number 8, and it is supported by class 7, that is resources. So class 7 and 8 come under do. Then do के बाद में आता है check. जैसे आपने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर लिया तो आप चेकिंग करते हैं ना?
हाँ.
But say, understand that it is not only manufacturing, but every process you have to introduce this check. जैसे आपने परचेजिंग कर लिया, ठीक है, तो परचेजिंग में तो चेकिंग होता ही नहीं है, होता है क्या? But the standard asks that you must have performance parameters for each process. तो परचेज में कौन सा परफॉर्मेंस पैरामीटर्स होगा? क्वालिटी रिलेटेड, आई एम आस्किंग.
Quality of the product.
क्वालिटी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट कैसे मेजर करेंगे परचेजिंग में?
Sir, for example, packets, जो बिस्किट के पैकेट्स है, they are properly sealed. All packets are sealed.
हाँ, तो अगर इफ यू आर से डीमार्ट और वॉलमार्ट और आपको पार्ले जी आ रहा है, you are procuring that Parle-G, so how you will assess the quality of the supply of the purchasing process? कि भाई how many damaged packages were received from this vendor, है ना? फिर that is one. फिर after that there could be defective products inside, so you may have to return the consignment, ठीक है? तो पैकेजिंग तो ठीक है, बट खोलने के बाद में पता चला कि वो they don't follow the norms. So what the standard is asking, by every process must have check, है ना? हम तो खाली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में ही चेकिंग करते हैं, बट परचेजिंग में भी चेकिंग होनी चाहिए, सेल्स में भी चेकिंग होनी चाहिए, ठीक है? सेलिंग ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट, उसमें भी चेकिंग होनी चाहिए. उसमें तो वो बोलेंगे अरे दिस इज अ फॉरेन कॉन्सेप्ट, हमको थोड़ी चेकिंग करना होता है. चेकिंग तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग वाले करते हैं, isn't it? But you have to devise quality performance measures for each process. So that is the check. So this concept should get into the industry. All processes must have something called check. Then क्वालिटी डिपार्टमेंट में भी चेकिंग होनी चाहिए ना? क्वालिटी डिपार्टमेंट की चेकिंग होती है क्या? नरेंद्र पाल सिंह, आप बताइए. यू आर इन क्वालिटी, you are in quality? So
yes sir, it is there sir.
What do we check in quality department?
Sir, actually I am in testing, comes under quality. लेकिन जो quality का जो management review रहता है ना sir, वो that they have to maintain complete data sir under the management review.
Right. So which performance parameters are reviewed which are related to your test laboratory?
Sir, test laboratory, that calibration we have to see. calibration of the equipment, sir.
हाँ, तो मतलब वो तो आप कैलिब्रेशन आप करोगे, ठीक है, दैट इज योर एक्टिविटी, so that
Yes, sir.
comes under do for you, okay, but what is your check कि आपने बराबर किया या नहीं किया, उसके ऊपर कोई चेक है?
हाँ, there are the
Sir.
check sheets sir for that.
हाँ
तो वो
Yes.
ऑडिट दी ऑडिटर होएगा फिर।
हाँ, तो वो ऑडिटर आएगा ना,
हाँ,
so
auditor आएगा।
he will come to your laboratory and find out, he will say there were 3 measuring equipments which are out of calibration date, है ना?
Yeah, yes, sir.
तो दैट इज द चेक फॉर योर टेस्ट लेबोरेटरी, जो ऑडिटर करता है, एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटर करेगा, इंटरनल ऑडिटर करेगा, अरे है ना?
जी सर।
तो पीपल थिंक क्वालिटी कंट्रोल वाले खाली चेक करते हैं, उनका कोई चेक नहीं करता है बट
हाँ, auditor करता है
इन द
sir.
ISO 9000 मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम ऑल फंक्शंस हैव टू अंडरगो द चेकिंग, मतलब उनका चेकिंग होगा ठीक है। फिर टेस्ट लेबोरेटरी में सैंपल्स जाते हैं एंड दे हैव टू मेंटेन एन SLA कि भाई अलग अलग टाइप के टेस्टिंग्स आती है तो उसका SLA क्या है, तो बोलेगा ट्रांसफॉर्मर ऑयल चेक करने आता है, उसका SLA है आधा घंटा, ठीक है, बट दे टुक 8 hours, isn't it? So you say transformer oil came on all the 30 days and out of the 30 days they could give the test results within the half an hour SLA only 20 times. Rest 10 times it took more than half an hour. So that means there is a non-compliance. What is the non-compliance? 10 by 20, 33% non-compliance. So what, this is a check on the test laboratory department, and what they have to do, they have to identify by kyun hua aisa, why, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what the PDCA cycle is very important, and then once you analyze and then take an improvement action ki okay, next month whatever number of supply 30-40 aayegi, so our performance will from 67% we will take it to 90%. 90% of the trucks ka sample laya and half an hour mein we give the results. Now that is what the action is. So PDCA for each process, each function. So this way it is. Now we are sort of running out of time and we have to cover a lot of portion. Let me get into this question number 12. So question number 12, NP Narendpal aap padhiye and you try to answer. All
Sir,
others please read and try to figure out what is the correct answer.
Sir, when an organization wants to improve its performance, it
Yeah.
should develop ISO 9001 QMS.
Hmm.
It should implement ISO 9001 QMS. It should practice quality management principles. And it should get certified.
Hmm.
So the correct combination is first and second. Okay, that answer I have to tell. Okay, sir, 1 minute. It should develop, it should implement, and it should get certified.
So in such questions, now you have to identify the most appropriate alternative, most appropriate.
Yes, sir. Sir, it will be D, sir.
Okay. So Akanksha, आप क्या बोल रहे हैं?
I think it's A, first and second option.
Okay. And Harsha?
Sir, I think it should develop ISO. So it can develop, right? Or it can develop. Develop is basically what?
Yeah, you have to define processes,
Okay, so
उसको develop बोलते हैं.
Sir, we have to make the this one, no, sir.
Hmm.
SMIs and all things we have to implement that process.
but-
L1, L2.
तो डेवलप तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना, आपको प्रोसेस
हाँ,
डेवलप
okay.
करना पड़ेगा, टेस्ट रिपोर्ट का फॉर्मेट डेवलप करना पड़ेगा, मैनेजमेंट रिव्यू का प्रोसेस डेवलप करना पड़ेगा, है ना? तो दैट इज मस्ट, देन इम्प्लीमेंट करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है?
तो स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रहा।
ओ स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रहा है?
मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है। हाँ, अभी दिखा, हाँ.
Okay.
It should develop ISO 9001 QMS. It should implement ISO 9001 QMS. It should practice. So certification is not there na, for this. You had said one is certification and one is just guidelines. So
नहीं वो तो that is a different context here.
तो ये certified हो सकता है 9001 QMS.
हाँ बट आपके पास में ऑप्शंस लिमिटेड है, 4 ही ऑप्शन है.
So
उसमें से व्हाट इज द मोस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट आंसर आउट ऑफ दिस?
1, 2, 4.
Okay.
Yes, the answer is sir. This is one.
NP also has said D, and someone says 1 and 2, right?
Yes, sir. It's develop and implement.
That is Harsha, right? फिर
Ansha.
okay, but you know, what about practicing quality management principles?
So
जैसे
this also,
yeah, this also, no?
So I was thinking all 4 actually.
नहीं, पर वो ऑप्शन ही नहीं है आपके पास में, वो ऑप्शन नहीं है ना. अगर होता तो मैं भी वही डालता था.
लेकिन sir, if we are getting the certification, during the certification, the auditor will come and he will identify whether we are following the practice quality management principles. So then it will come, na sir.
Yeah, but देखिए
Okay,
क्या
sir.
है ना, ऑडिटर तो आएगा. He may not be able to. It is a sampling exercise only. आपने तो बहुत सर्टिफिकेट देखे होंगे ना.
हाँ sir.
जहाँ पे कुछ फॉलो नहीं होता है. So
No, sir. So basically, what I understood from the question is, the question is, if an organization wants to improve,
yeah,
improve word में तो certification आता नहीं है actually.
नहीं, certification can help you.
Help, हाँ.
Yeah, but the C is must. You must follow quality management principles. क्योंकि
Yes.
हर चीज डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं हो सकती है, ठीक है? So in absence of a documented procedure or guideline, somebody is required to take a decision. तो उसको principles को refer करना पड़ेगा, है ना? Many times, you know, आपको ऐसे instances आते होंगे, तो you have to take a decision. क्या करना है decision, you know? So then you have to refer to the principles, and if the principle says do this, then do that. So therefore C is very important. A, B, C out of the options available, no? If there was an option 1, 2, 3 and 4, then I would have given that, but that option is not there. Option is 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 4. So between these two, if I have to select, then C is the most appropriate answer. ठीक है?
Got it, sir.
तो देखो इतना in depth आपको सोचना पड़ेगा, and then you know you will be able to answer correctly. So we have seen this now. This also.
Can we go to that paper again, that page again, sir, please?
Which one?
That previous one, sir.
Okay. This one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's get to the process. Question 17. Process approach involves बोलिए इसका आंसर बताइए. Process approach. Answer, you know, the para gives the answer. Let's read the para. हर्षा आप पढ़ेंगे इस पैराग्राफ को, process approach को?
हाँ, sir.
Please read.
And understanding and managing interrelated processes as a system contributes to the organization's effectiveness and efficiency in achieving its intended results. Yeah. This approach enables the organization to control the interrelationships and interdependence among the processes of the system, so that the overall performance of the organization can be enhanced.
Okay, so abhi question, let us take it to the next page. Okay, question is this: process approach involves. Now you are in a better position to answer after reading that para?
Yes, sir.
बताइए आंसर, अभी बताइए क्या है ABCD में। आप रेफर करें, आपके पास बुक है ना, यू कैन रेफर
Sir,
टू
none of the above. None of the above.
नन ऑफ द अबव। ओके, कैसे ये फिर से पढ़िए इस पैराग्राफ को, क्या लिखा
The
है।
understanding and managing interrelated processes as a system contributes to the organization's effectiveness and efficiency in achieving its intended results. In this, we are understanding and managing the interrelated processes, right?
Right.
This contributes to the organization effectiveness and efficiency.
हाँ, तो यहाँ पे देखिए क्वेश्चन में क्या लिखा है,
process approach
मैनेजिंग
involves
दी एक्टिविटीज
and resources.
हाँ,
Okay, okay.
है ना,
हाँ, ये
इज
है.
इट नॉट रिलेटेड टू दिस पैरा,
It
इसमें
is.
लिखा है ना एक्टिविटीज के ऊपर फोकस किया है उसने।
Some I was going word by word. वहाँ process लिखा है तो activities मैंने वो.
Basically it is talking about the activities, interrelationships and interactions, है ना। So among this is the most appropriate and right, you know, answer for this particular question. ठीक है?
Got it.
Okay. If you had not read that para, probably you could have given none of the options, correct? Somebody would have given documenting, somebody would have implementing, you know, but you would have missed this important aspect of process approach.
I actually felt it was activities and resources, but I thought it was put there managing to confuse basically that interrelated process जो था ना sir.
Right.
Since
okay, so you know all these questions you will see are based on these lessons. It is in detail, all these things are given here. So let's look at the risk based thinking. पहले तो ये पैराग्राफ पढ़िए, आकांक्षा आप पढ़िए इसको अभी, you know, this 2 paragraphs, risk based thinking.
Risk based thinking is essential for achieving an effective quality management system. The concept of risk based thinking has been implicit in previous edition of this international standards, including, for example, carrying out preventive action to eliminate potential non-conformities, analyzing any non-conformities that do occur, and taking action to prevent recurrence that is appropriate for the effect of the non-conformity. To conform to the requirement of this international standard, an organization needs to plan and implement action to address risk and opportunities. Addressing both risk and opportunities establishes a basis for increasing the effectiveness of quality management system, achieving improved results and preventing negative effects.
Okay, so you know पहले पैराग्राफ में बोल रहा है कि concept of risk based thinking has been implicit in previous editions. क्या मतलब वो उसका implicit in previous editions, मतलब पहले के editions में ये था पर छुपा हुआ था, है ना, वो एकदम clearly नहीं था, है ना, ऐसा नहीं था कि रिस्क का कॉन्सेप्ट था ही नहीं, बट इट वाज नॉट कॉल्ड रिस्क. व्हाट इट सेज, इट वाज कॉल्ड carrying out preventive action to eliminate potential non-conformities. Okay, so what is it indicating कि आपका preventive action जो हमने previous standards में use किया था, now we are calling it risk based thinking. So that is one. Then to conform to the requirements of this standard, the organization needs to plan and implementation actions to address risks and opportunities. ठीक है, ये सेकंड पैरा में है. तो अभी इसका क्वेश्चन देखिए, इसको पढ़िए अभी क्वेश्चन को और बताइए क्या आंसर है इसका. अभी देखिए आइडेंटिफाई रॉन्ग स्टेटमेंट लिखा है उसमें, है ना, नॉट द करेक्ट, रॉन्ग स्टेटमेंट विथ रेफरेंस टू आरबीटी.
So statement B.
Yeah, correct. You got the correct answer. है ना, planning and implementing actions to address risk has nothing to do with RBT, but that is what is said there. You know, planning and implementing actions, ये यहाँ पे आपको लिखा हुआ है. Needs to plan and implement action to address risks and opportunities. ठीक है. So this is the correct answer. Clear everyone?
Yes,
So
sir.
like that, there are many things in detail and questions are around the text there. So we will stop the discussion on chapter 2 and we move to chapter 3, just overview. Share screen. Let me go to the. ये दिख रहा है आपको पीपीटी इसका?
हाँ sir, दिख रहा है.
Yeah, right. Okay. So we will just see an overview of the environment management system and then get into the lesson on this particular topic. Okay. It's already 12:50, so I intend to continue till 1:15. 1:15 पे हम इसको खत्म कर देंगे, ठीक है? So EMS, आकांक्षा पूछ रहे थे the full form, Environmental Management System 14001 2015. So let's look at the background. This standard first was launched again by the British Standard Institution with the name BS 5570. A pilot was launched in 1992 and it was adopted by ISO in 1996 and the first standard 14001 1996 was released in January 1996. Correct. Then in 2004, the standard was revised in 2004 and the final revision, which is currently working, is the 2015 standard, ISO 14001 2015 standards. Okay. So how many clauses are there in ISO 14001 2015? Can you?
So 10 clauses were there, no?
Yeah. Why? Because in 2015, ISO decided that all the management system standards which are certifiable will have same number of clauses and same titles of the clauses. So 10 clauses in each standard. So as we saw in 9001, there were 10 clauses. In 14001 2015 also there are 10 clauses. Okay. And the title of the clauses is also same. तो ऐसे कैसे होता है कि क्वालिटी में भी सेम टाइटल और एनवायरनमेंट में भी सेम टाइटल? Why it is possible? Because these are all management system standards. So it uses the language of management and therefore it is possible to give the titles same as management. However, the details will be different wherever it is required. So there are 3 standards in 14000 series, similar to 9001. We had the base standard, which is certifiable, 14001 2015. Then we have ISO 14000 2016, which is general guidelines on implementation, and ISO 14005 2019, which is environmental management system guidelines for flexible approach to phased implementation. Okay. Now, in ISO 9001, we had 7 quality management principles, correct? In 14001, the standard is based on these 5 tenets. Okay. So what are the 5 tenets? Prevent air, water, noise pollution and land contamination. Okay. So these are like principles. So whatever requirements are given in the standard are based on these principles. Okay. So you can relate that the requirement is given because it follows the principle of preventing pollution related to air, noise, water and all these things, correct? And land contamination. So all the four things are covered. At the center is top management demonstrate leadership and commitment. So quality management, maybe we had leadership. Then on the right side, we have meet and exceed legal and statutory requirements and other relevant specific commitments. So related to your industry, you have to identify what are the relevant statutory regulatory requirements. Then another principle is conserve natural resources such as water, oil, coal, trees, electricity, etc. And finally, 4 R's. Try to use these 4 R's. Remove, reduce, recycle, reuse all forms of wastages as applicable. Okay. So you will not find these tenets in the standard, whereas you find the principles in the ISO 9001, whereas these tenets are not there in the 14001 standards. These, someone has done a deep study of all the requirements of the standards, the guideline on 14001, and then extracted these tenets. Okay, because all the requirements are around these tenets or principles.
So what is the meaning of tenets?
And tenets is like, principles
Acha,
which we are supposed to follow.
got it.
That's the equivalent of, principles. But this has been defined by NCQM or some of the consulting organization as 5 tenets, because it is not defined as principles, but in general, we should follow these things which are listed here, because the standards requirements are around this, whatever is written here, principles or tenets. Okay, so फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज इंडस्ट्री में हर्षा आप बताइए, प्रिवेंट एयर वाटर नॉइज पोल्यूशन एंड लैंड कंटेमिनेशन, व्हाट इज एप्लीकेबल टू योर कंपनी?
So water.
नहीं, your company is operating in an environment,
अच्छा, no, so not water.
So एनवायरमेंट को क्या इफेक्ट कर रहा है आपकी कंपनी के ऑपरेशन से? फॉर एग्जांपल, अ बैंक, प्रिवेंशन ऑफ पोल्यूशन. सो इज योर कंपनी और बैंक creating this pollution related?
No, sir.
No. So it is not applicable to your company. Okay, but a restaurant, for example, can you cite an example of how a restaurant creates any of this air, water, noise? Air pollution create करते हैं लोग restaurants?
So basically, water pollution would be throwing the garbage, their waste in
correct.
Not the appropriate form.
That's right. Without treating, correct? They will
Without
wash the
treating.
utensils, use the chemicals, and not treat and put it into the sewage or drainage, right?
And in noise pollution, if it is basically a club, a pub kind of a place.
Correct.
Loud, too much noise, music, loud music, basically.
Right. So if you have to buy a house, for example, a flat खरीदना है मुंबई में, तो 2 करोड़ में आता है इधर, right? हर्षा knows that. आपने 2 करोड़ खर्चा करके फ्लैट खरीद लिया और उसके बाजू में पब है और रात भर आपको उधर से आवाज आता है ना? It's a huge nuisance, correct? Problem, है ना? But you will find many certification agencies will certify them as ISO 14001 compliant. Correct? So it's very, very important aspect of management system, which is environment management system. Most people focus only on the manufacturing companies. कि अरे ये क्या करते हैं, are they doing pollution, all these things. But Earlier it was there, but nowadays they are doing proper treatment. Pollution control boards monitors them, but they don't care about these restaurants, hotels, pubs, and all sorts of things. Hospitals, which create a big nuisance. Okay, so we don't have enough time. Otherwise, this is a very interesting topic. We cover it in 2 days. 14,001 standard requirements. Okay, so what is this? What is an EMS? Surroundings in which an organization operates, including air, water, natural resources, flora, fauna, humans, and their interrelations. Okay. So some examples of pollution. Air pollution में क्या-क्या आता है? Water pollution, discharge of untreated water. Land pollution, dumping hazardous waste on the ground. Noise pollution, exhaust fans, grinding machines, and so on and so forth. And you will find in Mumbai especially, the old area, the whole industry from the British times, it was within Mumbai's residential area. All the big, textile mills were in Dadar, Parel, and all those areas. Chemical industries were in the suburbs. So huge level of, pollution, and still the city is suffering because of all that. Misuse, wastage of natural resources, fossil fuels, so these are the aspects covered in the 14,001. Now, environmental, sorry, just a minute. These are the environmental issues. I will bring it down. Yeah, environmental issues related to the aspects. So the standard requires that you identify the issues, environmental issues of your organization. What is the meaning of that? आपके environment के आपके operation से क्या-क्या तकलीफें हैं, है ना?
Yes, sir.
So NP आप बताएंगे, BHEL झांसी, is this applicable emission to air?
Yes, sir.
क्या होता है? What happens there in BHEL झांसी? क्या करते हैं आप, मतलब what emissions are there?
Sir, actually we are testing this diesel locos, na sir?
Yeah, correct.
So diesel loco, and in a month, 4 diesel locos we are testing, sir.
Correct.
And we are burning almost, sir, 2,000 liters diesel.
Right.
Come on.
So all this carbon dioxide, carbon
Yeah,
monoxide,
carbon dioxide.
methane, ethane, and whatnot, it all gets into the air.
Yes, sir.
So so that's an issue. That's called an issue. Burning
Yes.
of the diesel is an
Yes.
issue which
Yes, sir.
emits this toxic gases. Air, it creates it. So what is the aspect? Aspect is air gets polluted.
Yes, sir.
So this standard requires you for each of your operations activities, how it is affecting the environment. Release of water.
So one question regarding air pollution.
Yeah.
So the ACs also would be forming a part of.
हाँ, उसमें AC में there are does it create air pollution?
It does, right, sir?
What are the gases? Exhaust क्या होता है उसका? Is it having
CO2 होता है ना?
CO2 कहाँ से आता है उसमें?
CO2 नहीं होगा ना सर उसमें?
उसमें तो गर्म होता है, it creates, वो एटमॉस्फेयर में हॉट एयर को वो छोड़ता है ना? The same air which is there in the room, it sucks the temperature, है ना? And that air carries it outside, है ना? So it may not be a significant aspect as far as the pollution is concerned, but noise, आपने लगा दिया उसका है ना यूनिट, और वो नॉइज क्रिएट कर रहा है. ठीक है? So for noise, from the noise point of view, it is important. So the aspect is noise pollution.
Okay.
फिर release of water. So, industries release chemicals. आपने restaurant का example बताया. Release to land, soil contamination. ये कहाँ पे applicable है? I was working as a consultant in a company called Hindustan Colas Limited, or they manufacture this tar, which is used for making the road, no? जो tar है ना. So this tar is used by, say, National Highway, authority, or the transport authorities and all, for constructing the roads. And after that, what happens? The land around that gets polluted because of the chemicals getting released. Also, when the tar road ka life is over, that is dumped by the side of the road. So this is a contamination of the land. This is an extreme example. So therefore, the government issued orders to all the Ministry of Transport and all, that the after the useful life of the tar is over, that has to be taken to a site, a dumping site, a proper dumping site, and dumped there, and not alongside the road. Use of energy is the issue, है ना? आप excessive energy use कर रहे हो, आप renewable energy use नहीं कर रहे हो, तो that's an issue. So conservation of energy is the aspect, and then what are you doing to conserve the energy? So are you using some renewable sources of energy? Are you using all conventional, source of energy? Waste management and byproducts. So, these are the various things which you are supposed to identify as issues, and then what is the aspect, environmental aspect, and then take action. So activity, aspect, and what is its impact. Okay. So this is some overview of the standard, and you are supposed to improve the performance. That means the environment around you, you need to have some performance parameters and go on improving that. Okay. Now let's go to the lesson number 3, which is on 14,001. Now before we break for lunch, let's try to complete that.
Sir, you know Bhadra sir, B. Bhadra?
Yeah, I know.
He became GM, sir. He is my boss now.
Oh, is it? I will speak to him today.
Sir.
Bhadra had joined 2 years later to me.
Okay, sir.
So I will speak to him today.
Actually, while discussing with him, I told him, sir, I am pursuing this.
Okay.
And Santosh sir is there. He's taking our lectures and all.
Right.
Okay.
So great. And all my batchmates have retired. Pradeep Rawat, who was your GM in charge, I think, there for some time.
Yes.
So those people are retired. Anyway, are you able to see this on screen? The lesson number 3. Lesson
Yes,
number 3 दिख रहा है ना आपको? Okay. So this again, covers all the aspects of EMS. Then differences between 14,001, 9,001, commonalities between the two standards, business benefits of 14,001. Then this, what are the various standards in the 14,000 series, and what are the addresses 5 areas as part of the standards, and a typical system or document would cover this. Okay, so introduction mein, let's look at this question number 1 without reading. Let us see, try to answer. हर्षा, आप बताइए इसका आंसर. First read that.
So out of the 4 statements, identify the incorrect statement.
Mhm.
The management systems that support ISO 9001 certification also support ISO 14001 certification.
Mhm.
So this is true.
Incorrect पूछ रहे हो है ना, तो the management system that support ISO 9000 certification also supports ISO 14001 certification. So okay, let's keep it at at this point undecided. Go to the next.
So they're different organizations, they're same organizations.
It is talking for the same organization.
Okay.
Hmm.
In the ISO 14000 series only, 14000 establishes certification requirements. No, this has environment management systems.
Hmm.
So this is incorrect. The B1.
Okay.
ISO 14001 standards are not system and performance standards, unlike ISO 9001.
Mhm. क्या लगता है आपको, करेक्ट है इनकरेक्ट है?
तो ये भी incorrect लग रहा है.
Okay. Okay. So this ये incorrect लग रहा है आपको, C incorrect लग रहा है ना?
हाँ.
What about D?
The application of various elements of the ISO 14001 system may differ from that of the ISO 9001 in focus and purpose. Yes, this is true.
This is true. So C looks to be incorrect, is it? Only C looks to be incorrect, right? Isn't it?
So B establishes certificate requirements.
वो तो सही है ना?
सही है, सही है. The
Yeah.
C looks incorrect.
Okay, so see how you are logically coming to C,
Yes.
one by one eliminating. Don't jump to the conclusion till you read the last, option, है ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that you are 100% sure that you are pointing to the correct alternative. Agreed, all of you? Any questions
Yes,
on
sir.
this? Huh?
No, yes, correct.
Yeah, correct. Huh? Harsha, you are with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, great. Okay. So see this, all these questions are derived from your, lesson only. Let's say implementation of ISO 14001 and subsequent certification can facilitate progress towards the following except one. है ना? तो सब आपको केयरफुली पढ़ना है. आकांक्षा आप बताइए इसको. What is the answer? First is try to answer with logic. अगर नहीं मिलता है तो फिर आप उधर पढ़ के बताइए. ऊपर आंसर दिया हुआ है ऊपर. $14,001 का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हुआ, फिर सब्सिक्वेंट सर्टिफिकेशन हुआ. कैन फैसिलिटेट प्रोग्रेस टुवर्ड्स द फॉलोइंग एक्सेप्ट वन. तो क्या नहीं हो सकता है उससे? इंक्रीज कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस एंड मोर क्रेडिबल इमेज, ये हो सकता है?
कंपटीशन तो बढ़ सकता है.
नहीं, कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस आपकी बढ़ जाएगी ना इससे. वाई? बिकॉज यू आर ट्राइंग टू रिड्यूस, क्या वेस्टेज रिड्यूस करना है, एनर्जी कंजम्पशन रिड्यूस करना है, और ट्राई टू रीयूज. तो आपका प्रोडक्ट का कॉस्ट कम हो जाएगा, कॉम्पिटिटिव हो जाओगे आप, राइट? एंड मोर क्रेडिबल इमेज. विल यू हैव अ बेटर इमेज इन द मार्केट अगर आपने एनवायरनमेंट का ध्यान रखा तो, है ना? करेक्ट, नो? So that's why all company display मेरा company 14,001 certified है, to project D. So certification can do this. Then more efficient processes. This is related to productivity, reduction of wastages again, है ना? तो ये भी होता है. प्रॉफिट बढ़ जाएगा ना, रिसोर्सेस कम यूज करोगे तो प्रॉफिट बढ़ जाएगा, तो ये भी होता है. फिर इंक्रीज इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम्स, ये होगा क्या?
नहीं सर.
ये तो कम हो जाएगा, राइट?
हाँ.
आकांक्षा आप बताइए क्यों कम होगा? आप यू आर फ्रॉम फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज, आप बताओ कैसे कम होता है इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम?
आकांक्षा की हर्षा.
हाँ, हर्षा फ्रॉम फाइनेंशियल.
हाँ. तो ये बेसिकली because the company does not have to pay, they will not claim because of the disaster that happens because due to natural resources. तो इसीलिए वो बेनिफिट देते हैं कम प्रीमियम का.
करें. तो स्ट्रेट 20% तो वहीं पे डिस्काउंट हो जाएगा. 14,001 सर्टिफिकेट लगाओ तो BHL का साल भर का इंश्योरेंस अगर 1 करोड़ का है झांसी का, तो 20% वहीं पे कम कर देगा. चलो 80 लाख में ले जाओ. So this is, so it will reduce, not increase. That's why the correct option is D. Right? Okay, so this is, both these questions are from application side where you have to apply a lot of thought. Where is question 3? What is the correct full form of TBT? So ये just straight answer है इसका. Technical barrier to trade.
तो एक प्रिंसिपल बोला है आपने और एक एप्लीकेशन बोला है, राइट?
हाँ.
एप्लीकेशन मतलब सोचना पड़ेगा कि ये है कि नहीं है.
हाँ. और प्रिंसिपल का ऐसा है कि आपको अगर याद है ना तो आप बोल दोगे.
That can go wrong if we know it. Otherwise, it can. ये हम लोग choose कर सकते हैं at least.
So
got it.
ये वाला आंसर होगा इसका, टेक्निकल बैरियर्स टू ट्रेड, TBT. But if you have not read this, then you will wonder अरे क्या है. तो पढ़ना तो दोनों केस में पड़ेगा, बट इन केस ऑफ एप्लीकेशन, इन एडिशन टू पढ़ाई, you have to apply logic. That's why it is called application. So the questions are, we have tried to design in such a way that they are in 2 parts. कभी mix up हो जाता है, that's possible, but mostly the principle is followed there. Where you have to think and answer is application, where you have to just get out of your memory, that is principle. है ना? माँ बाप के पैर पढ़ना चाहिए क्या? So this is a principles question. Okay. हाँ, पढ़ना चाहिए क्योंकि इट्स अ प्रिंसिपल, नो? तो आपको सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है उसमें, है ना? That way. But a question which is related to say what type of health insurance you should take for your parents based on which factors. तो 3-4 फैक्टर दिए होंगे तो आपको फिर सोचना पड़ेगा उधर. ठीक है? That way. So this gray वाला जो questions है ना, they are application side. Okay. So we'll just take one more type, that is match the pairs. This is also you have to think and write. So 50,001 कौन सा है? First edition was published in so and so. Answer इसमें दिया होगा ऊपर. 50,001 was published in which year? Year was published 9,001. ये 87 में publish हुआ था. 45,001 was published in 14,000 was published in 96. 45,000 was published in 2011 as a OSHA's 18,000, and 50,001 was first time published in 2018. Okay. Difference between 14,000 and 9,001. 14,001 implementation requires knowledge of the following except one. Design for environmental improvement, hazardous material analysis, reducing cost of quality, prevention of pollution. तो Obviously,
C.
the answer is C. Yeah, correct. So like that, we have all the questions, and the key is you have to read, thoroughly. ये क्वेश्चन एक ले लेते हैं 13. Which of the following statements are correct? There is a strong and positive correlation between eco-efficiency and profitability. The fear of the initial cost of implementing an EMS and ROI is real. The presence of an EMS helps companies to protect themselves against legal liabilities. Environmental problems cause a lack of control over business operations. So to me it looks all four are correct.
Yes, sir, all four.
All four are correct. ठीक है, but आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा carefully all four. Otherwise there may be something surprise in between. ठीक है. So this is all related to this. Since we are running out of time already, we are one chapter late. So we will close it here. We have to cover 5 chapters after the lunch. In the morning we started late because of some reasons. Participants were little late, and therefore we will, and the chapters in the afternoon session are not that big, they are smaller size, so we will be able to cover up 5 chapters in 4 sessions. Okay, so we break for lunch, and we will be back by 2. I think 40 minutes lunch, everybody is home, should be good enough. Okay, any questions in the morning session, or we break for the lunch?
So we can break for lunch.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Chalo,
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye. We meet at 2 o'clock.